Young Miami is next on a motherfucking docket. Apparently, Miss Mamas was Diddy's worker, and like the S work, yeah, that's what she was, and allegedly transported the for him and did it with him. And she received the funds after she was done being an S worker.
Y'all, in the latest saga of Diddy, things are going down. Young Miami is getting exposed for transporting drugs for Diddy, and then trying to snitch on Diddy to Homeland Security to save herself. Allegedly. Well, it has been one messy week for Diddy, and even though his little young shorty has been trying to stay out of the situation so far, she just got dragged into it in a major way. New court filings allege that Miami allegedly used to transport drugs for Diddy's use, and that she allegedly used them with Diddy at his parties. Needless to say, she is in a whole lot of trouble with the feds because of this. But she has no intentions of going down with Diddy because she is allegedly in the process of striking a deal with the feds to snitch on Diddy and leave her out of it. Now, if why all thought that Miami was Diddy's ride or die shorty, well, you better think again because she knows where all the bodies are buried and she has no problem helping the feds to dig up the truth about Diddy. Why all? The situation is a hot mess. It looks like Young Miami is up to something.
Everybody would. Young Miami is now being accused of allegedly transporting pink Coca-Cola to Diddy according to new court documents.
Well, in the year of our Lord 1993, the prophet Snoop Doggy Dogg once said, "It's a crazy mixed-up world. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a dog-eat-dog world," and it is absolutely true, because why on earth is everybody involved in this Diddy mess so eager to spill the tea and snitch on each other? Well, it's crazy how a few months ago, Diddy and Young Miami were living it up together and swearing to the heavens and beyond that they were each other's ride or die. They were going to have each other's backs no matter what life threw at them and all that type of stuff. But that vow quickly flew out of the window when Diddy got sued last year. His ex-girlfriend and former bad boy artist, Cassie Ventura, went into deep detail about the torture that she experienced from Diddy during her relationship with him, recounting how he would often put his hands on her, hit her, and leave her with bruises all over her body. She claimed that nobody in his circle would stand up for her or speak up for her defense because they were all too scared of Diddy and were terrified of what he would do if they ever dared to question him. Well, she also claimed that Diddy used to pimp her out to male escorts that he would force her to hire, and he would then allegedly force her to take drugs and alcohol before forcing her to intimately be with these escorts, and then recording the events while they happened. And if that wasn't bad enough, she claimed that Diddy used to record these freak-offs and then force her to watch it and blackmail her whenever she tried to speak up for herself or put her foot down and try to leave him. Well, she eventually managed to leave in 2018, and her life was a mess for the first couple of months after she left, and she was finally able to move on with her life, get married, and have kids with a beautiful family. She was able to finally gather her courage and expose Diddy in the lawsuit last year. And why all did it send a wave through Hollywood? Well, Diddy wasn't the only one who got dragged for this either, because Young Miami also got a lot of hate for being tied to Diddy because people were wondering why on earth she was dealing with someone who was doing stuff like that to other women. And it made her look bad and gave her a bad rep too. But this wasn't all because fans were also able to dig out an old tweet from her that suggested that she was more involved in Diddy's freak-offs than we knew about. In the tweet, she made some bad comments about Diddy's other side piece, Gina Hoon, that sounded like she was threatening Gina that she would make Diddy force Gina into a freak-off. She said, "If I wanted you to eat my pee, Diddy would have had you on your knees." You a eater, Gina. You have been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a bee that eat P&D when he felt like it. You a eater. You the same bee that was crying on Tasha K because you wanted a baby. Poor Sushi. Yeah, this sounded like she was trying to threaten Gina with some type of freak-off of her own, and it got her dragged for filth, and she started crashing alongside Diddy. But what made things even worse is that Gina actually did sit down with Tasha K to talk about how Diddy allegedly hurt her and put his hands on her when they were together.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, the first 4 months, he was really nice, but then after that, he started being an asshole. So he was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically me. He took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose.
And you mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
I told him, and he was like, you're gonna get an abortion, right? And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know yet. And then he offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and and I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that
Was
wanted
with
him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him, and I just wanted him to be nice to me. That's it. I was like, I don't want your money, I just want you to be nice.
So yeah, if all this is true, it's a really bad look for Miami. But it didn't prove anything because it was just fans speculating about what Miami and Diddy might have been doing, and there was no evidence to prove that Miami forced other women into freak-offs, and if she was involved in any freak-offs with Diddy, well, she was a grown woman exercising her rights to do whatever she wanted to do with her body, as long as it only involving her body. However, suspicions got stronger that she knew more about Diddy's alleged activities than what she was letting on, because she immediately started to distance herself from Diddy. This was before the other 4 lawsuits hit, and we started to speculate that there were more skeletons hidden in that cupboard. Well, the next thing we knew, Diddy got sued by 3 more women who accused him of allegedly assaulting them in a similar fashion, and it got even uglier for Diddy, and he got dragged again. But it was at this point that Miami started going over and beyond to prove that she was no longer associated with Diddy, and that she was moving on from whatever that had going on between them. She announced that she was launching a new era that she refers to as her Yan's era. She deleted all her pictures of Diddy from her social media, and she completely stopped talking about Diddy on social media. But it wasn't just all the social media stuff, because sources claimed that she completely distanced herself from Diddy himself because he no longer had money to give her every month. She did it faster than he could imagine. According to a source, Diddy is no longer paying Young Miami's bills. The friend told us that Diddy had been paying for private flights, shopping sprees, and rent for a luxury Miami penthouse. Now, Diddy has cut those expenses. Diddy still buys Young Miami a Christmas gift, but he's not as generous as he once was, the source continues. Diddy is not in a good place mentally either. He can really use someone like Keisha in his life. She really does care about him, not just his money, but the money is important, yes, so he has to start paying again if he wants her companionship. So, with Diddy no longer giving her money and her reputation being in the dumps, Miami jumped and ran before he took her down with him. And she probably thought that this was going to make people forget that she was all over him, talking about Yes Papi at these award shows. But it's just too little, too late. Why all remember that song? Put it in the comments, cause, listen, Homeland Security is involved now, and they are doing their digging on Miss Young Miami. She has been exposed for allegedly moving drugs for Diddy. Now, why all remember producer Lil Rod, the latest person to sue Diddy? Well, at first, his lawsuit only mentioned Miami in passing, saying that she was present at the parties, and she had her cousin doing something with Lil Rod, but it wasn't something that was super illegal for her to be in the lawsuit. However, that lawsuit has been updated, and why all? Does Miami let me look bad in it? Now why all know how there's been rumors that Diddy gives her $500,000 per month because he likes her, and she's good company, right? Well, that's a bunch of BS, allegedly, because the lawsuit claimed that she was Diddy's sex worker. The court documents say Young Miami, Jade, and Daphne Jordan were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' sex workers and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendants' ongoing criminal operation. Well, why all? Do I all think that Young Miami, Miss Shy ___ Miss Yes Papi, is really going to flip on her old boo? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and then check out this next video.